From the Watergate building in Washington, this is Hotline TV. Now, here's Hotline editor, John Mercurio.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. I'm John Mercurio.
And I'm Amy Walter. Colin Powell confirmed on Meet the Press this weekend that Obama has sought him out for advice on foreign policy. Well, Powell is considered the dean of diplomats. He's also the man principally responsible for the Iraq War. Will his admission have consequences for Obama and with Democrats' anti-war wing?
I don't think you're going to see a lot of people in the sort of liberal wing, the anti-war wing of the Democratic Party. It's not even the liberal wing. I mean, it's the moderate wing. It's to some extent the conservative wing of the party, embracing somebody like Colin Powell. I think, look, he spent the past 4 years since sort of, arguing for the Bush administration's case on the war, sort of backing away from it, quietly distancing himself from the war. Now from Bush, from the Republicans. And I think there's a lot of sort of resistance or reluctance on the part of liberals in the Democratic Party to embrace him. Now, Obama, I think, of any Democrat running for president in 2008, has really strong credentials in having consistently opposed the war. So bringing on somebody like Colin Powell, I think it could benefit him. Look, he's very inexperienced. That's the one knock against Obama that he really can't fight, is this notion that he's only been in the Senate for 2 years. He does need people with more experience on foreign policy. Colin Powell, I think, adds to that, to his ability to claim gravitas. But it's a little bit riskier.
Is that kind of experience that you want? Right. Is that the kind of...
Right. It's not as cut and dry as a lot of people think. I mean, I think a lot of people talking about the big bombshell of a Colin Powell supporting a Democrat are really stuck in a 2000 mindset. They're stuck in this notion. They're stuck with the
pre-9/11 mindset, perhaps?
If you will. They're stuck with this image of Bush inviting Colin Powell down to the ranch in 2000, where he announced pre-election that Colin Powell would be his Secretary of State. That was one of his most masterful moves in the campaign. It's a very different world in 2000.
It's a very different world, and it's a very different Colin Powell, the same person who we'd heard all through 2004. Maybe we can, through 2000 and beyond, maybe will there be a draft Powell movement, right? The enthusiasm for somebody like a Colin Powell. But when you see John McCain this weekend on Meet the Press, and on Stephanopoulos, and in Vanity Fair, talking about the fact that here's a guy who probably is going to be defined more by the UN Council speech than anything else, it's going to be very hard for him to sort of go back, as you're saying, back to that UN Security Council, Colin Powell. And today, does it hurt Obama? I don't think it actually hurts him to get his approval, especially he says, look, here's somebody else who's recognized, even Republicans, even those closest to Bush, finally recognizing and supporting me. But in the end,
more seen, I think it's being more viewed right now as sort of, another example of Bush's sinking ship. A lot of other sort of former advisors. Interesting, though, those McCain quotes, both in Vanity Fair and on ABC News this weekend, talking about Colin Powell, talking about how he's worried, how he thinks that Colin Powell, his good friend, is worried about how history is going to treat him, worried about this great American, this great soldier, concerned about his support for the war. It's very self-analytical. I don't like to indulge in psychobabble.
In the word we use in psycho world, the psychology world, that is projection.
It is projection.
Well, maybe a little projection there going on.
All right, that's it for today. Thank you very much for joining us here on Hotline TV. We'll see you tomorrow.